Just what a pleasure this is. Well, I've been around long enough in AdvoCare. I've gotten to see youthful distributors join, usually the wife, who drags her husband in when the check gets big. And I've watched them mature. But what's happening lately is they're maturing so rapidly. People going from nothing to diamond in a year, 2, 3. But it's not about the speed, it's about the integrity, and it's about being who you are. Another diamond is about to come out on the stage. Another. January 31st. Try that one. January 31st, 2012. From Colorado. Sounds like Colorado's got some growing to do. From Colorado. Rob and Kayla Schneider.
So honored, and we're so humbled that we're standing up here on this stage. And fortunately enough for us, 2 years ago, I was thicker than a snicker, and I needed these products. Thank goodness AdvoCare is more than just the 24-day challenge and spark. I want to take you back 2 years ago to where we were professionally. Rob and I were both full-time tax accountants. I was in the middle of studying for my CPA license, and we were gearing up for yet another tax season, which meant very long days and very late nights and lots of hours in our little tiny cubicles that we called home. For me, this had always been my goal. My vision was to climb that corporate ladder. I wanted to be a partner in a large accounting firm. We are so grateful, though, that our good friends, Megan and Jason, that they took 5 minutes to explain the income opportunity to Rob and I, because it's been a conversation that's changed my life. See, what people didn't see is that when you are committed to your career, when your only priority is your career, you don't have a lot of time for your significant other. And you know, Megan told me, Kayla, we made $500 our first month in AdvoCare, and my wheels started to spin. I knew that an extra $500 a month for us would allow us to pay off $45,000 worth of debt a little bit sooner, but more importantly, it would justify me going out and having dinner with this hunky man right here. Fortunately, though, for me, I had a defining moment in my career very early. I remember I was working on a beautiful Saturday in the middle of July. Now, this is a little uncommon for our profession. The summers typically tend to be a little bit slower. So I had a little bit of a pity party that I was working on a Saturday, and I remember getting up from my computer and walking over to an office with a window and looking outside and thinking to myself, man, Kayla, you are 23 years old. Is this really what life's gonna be about? Is there ever going to be a day where you're not waking up to an alarm clock? Is there ever going to be a day that you're not asking for that vacation time? Is there ever going to be a day that you don't have to justify being sick? And fortunately, 3 short weeks later, we drove to Dallas-Fort Worth, and I was sitting in this audience for my very first Success School. And that's what's so neat about sharing our story on this stage, is because I was sitting in a chair up there, and I caught the vision of what AdvoCare would be for me and my family. And the truth is, I didn't want to be the #1 CPA in all of the land. I wanted to be the #1 auntie to my nieces and my nephew. I wanted to be the #1 wife to my husband. And more importantly, I wanted to be the #1 mom to my future children. And that's when we knew that AdvoCare was going to provide for us in a way that corporate America couldn't.
Kayla's right. We live a life today that's much different than our lives were before AdvoCare. We went from struggling with debt, drowning with debt, having our jobs run our lives, to a point where we are today. We're completely debt-free. We've paid off that $45,000 in debt. We are our own bosses. We're not letting our jobs decide our destination. One of our favorite things about AdvoCare is that it allows us to bless others. Just recently, we were able to take Kayla's parents out on a trip to Winter Park for a long weekend. It's always been something they talked about, and we were so grateful that we could bless them and treat them to that vacation that they dreamed of. But if I could share with you something from the heart, Kayla's always wanted a big family. She's always talked about it, but it's always been a fear of mine to bring a child into this world knowing I couldn't be that number one dad or that number one husband. And it came to a point where that because of AdvoCare, I can be that number one dad now. I can be that number one husband. She can be that number one mom and that auntie, because we now have the time freedom to provide each other the love and care that we both need and both deserve. We're so excited that our kids aren't going to miss out on, we're not going to have to miss out on moments in our child's lives. We're going to be there to see their first steps, hear their first words, teach them their first snatch. AdvoCare has changed our lives for the best, and we know that it can do the same for you too. To be honest, I was skeptical at first, and that was just because I was just looking as far as my nose. I never looked out in front to see the opportunity for what it was. So I encourage those out there who maybe haven't caught the vision yet to look past your nose, see the vision and the opportunity of what this can be for you, because it's crazy to think that I was going to sit on the sidelines knowing what we've accomplished today. Thank you.
Hear it again for Colorado in the Schneiders. Well.